2026 marks the year of the LiDAR Robot Mowers, and visiting the ECOVACS booth at CES shows that this is definitely true. ECOVACS had an impressive display of 3 new robot mowers, all featuring LiDAR. This is really going to change the game for robotic lawnmowers. Now, last year, I was actually able to test out ECOVACS robot lawnmowers using RTK antenna and the first LiDAR robot lawnmower, and they want me to compare the different technologies being used between them. Before we talk about the new models, I want to cover the challenges I've had with RTK robot mowers. I've tested out probably 12 or 15 different models, and they definitely have a few issues. Now, one of the first problems is finding a location for the base station that can be also powering the RTK. Sometimes you might have the base station in one location, and then you'll have the RTK, but you need to either have a single power cord that connects them, or you need to have multiple outlets to be able to connect them. And sometimes the best location for the RTK might be in the very middle of your yard to have the best signal, but that's not really a feasible solution. Now, one of the main problems is after selecting a location and placing the RTK, it could then end up being too close to the house or maybe even a tree, and it just doesn't work. Verifying if it's a good or bad signal is going to take some extra work. You then have to test it out, try again, and then maybe even move, remap the lawn, and it's just a continuous solution that takes a lot of time. Some of the other problems is, am I far enough away from the house? They recommend being 10 feet, but if your house is too tall, is that going to be a problem? Is the weather going to cause interference? Is a tree or other obstacles that might move cause problems to this lawn? So a lot of questions with the RTK and not too many answers in how to fix many of those different challenges. Now, as I've been using these RTK mowers on my lawn and many other lawns, some of the questions that I have is, why did the mower just stop going as it was going through the fence? No reason, it just kind of stopped. The trees were fine in the spring when I set it up, but then as the leaves grew, then the trees added a shield and the signal no longer worked. And even if you add a new tree to your yard, is that going to stop it from working as well? So if you do have those problems, some things you can do to fix that is remapping the yard and then having to walk and remap around the house. With the RTK, you need to manually drive the robot on the border so that it knows where your border is and where it can drive. Takes a lot of time, and if you have to remap the yard, doing that over and over again is going to add up. Now, on some yards, I've tried to figure out why is there a dead zone area. So I'd have to move the RTK here, try a different side of the home, but there seemed to always be a problem, it'd be the other side of the house. So one yard worked great, but the other side didn't work great. And then another problem is the RTK having a drift. So slowly over time, it kind of changes and it's not lining up the same way that you mapped out the lawn. So it's a little confusing. So you end up having to remap again. Then another problem is if the base station falls over or if I've adjusted it, do I need to remap? If just tilting it changes anything? And so there's a lot of questions on how this is actually working. So many times the mower worked great at my house, but as soon as I take it to other people's houses, it's not functioning properly. Even at my parents' house, we had their house and another house pretty close to them. And when you do have houses close together, the RTK signal gets confused and then it just stops and will no longer function in that area. So that's one of the dead zones. And it's a problem, especially after you've gone through all of the different setup steps. Let's just say there's a lot of babysitting versus actual productive mowing going on. Now let's talk about ECOVACS using LiDAR and how that has been the perfect solution. There is no antenna, so you don't need to figure out a specific spot for it. All you need to do is have a power outlet and a location that is next to your yard. That's it. You don't have to worry about all those other things, location, everything else. Plug it in, connect it, you're ready to go. Now, the other thing is the LiDAR on top, it can see quite far. So as long as you have an obstacle here and there, it's able to understand where it is and have perfect centimeter accuracy as it is navigating and learning about your yard. There's also no signal in the air for anything to get interrupted. There's no dead zone or drift. There's no terrain limits. It can go where you tell it to go, and it can understand where it is because of the different objects, whether it be a wall or a fence or a tree. It understands where it is because of the LiDAR technology being able to locate it easily on the map. And no longer will you have to continuously babysit the lawnmower because it knows where it is, it knows where it's going, and it knows what to do. And I saw this firsthand with the GOAT A3000 that I tested out last year. Putting this in my parents' yard where I had the issue of signal interference with other RTK mowers, this was able to mow exactly where I had it mow, and we didn't have any more signal issues in some of those dead zones. It knew where it was, it knew how to get it around, and it did a great job continually mowing throughout the year. Now, if you do place something on the yard, it can easily work around those different obstacles placed on the grass. If something new has been added, it also works in all weather conditions. And now it has true edge cutting, so it can get even closer to the edge of your yard. So after testing out around 10 different RTK based robot mowers, most of them having many of these issues and trying them on all kinds of yards, I am ready for the change to LiDAR in these devices. At the ECOVACS booth at CES, they had an awesome display of the dual blades that they're using on their lawnmower. So it was really cool to see that nice and big. And then they also have a display of the new true edge cutting feature that is going to be available on the models. Let's take a look at what's new.
So here you can see how the hands-free mowing now edges, and it's able to use that edger just like a typical trimmer you have in your home, but it's able to do it all on its own. Again, it's going to do the regular border cutting like it does, and then it will go around and just do the true edge trimming to deliver a nice full cut lawn. So taking a look at the 3 new models that are all LiDAR based, here we have the O1000 LiDAR Pro. So this is going to cover 1,000 square meters of area. So this is going to be a little bit smaller of a lawn, and it's built on the 18-volt energetic platform. So pretty good power, not quite as much as the other Pro models, but a good amount. And then here, this includes the new True Edge trimmer. So this is going to get right up next to the edge of your lawn. Now, when it does its perimeter cutting, it's going to go around the border once, and then it'll go through and cut around the border again with the True Edge so that you have a perfect cut there at the edge. Now looking under here, we have the single rotor blade, but it's 22 centimeter cutting width, so that's pretty good. And then over here, we have the True Edge trimmer. So you will be able to manually feed that to replenish the trim in there, but it's great. It was able to cut right up to the edge. Of course, that's been my biggest wish for these robot lawnmowers, so it's great that is now fully integrated into this model. Now you are able to adjust the height in the app where it can electronically do that, but some of the RTK base models, you will manually control the height. That will save you a little bit money, but it doesn't have that LiDAR system built into it, and it doesn't have the true edge. So if you have a smaller lawn that you just need a little bit cutting, that's there to help you. Now next up, we have the A2000 LiDAR Pro. So we're increasing the area, so 2,000 meters squared, and then this is built on the 32-volt energetic platform. So as it's going to quickly cruise through your lawn, just cutting it in no time. And then here, this has the LiDAR on the top. And then here you have like the rain sensor, stop button, all that we've seen before on the GOAT models. And then here we have the True Edge trimmer as well. And underneath, like the other GOAT models, this has the 33 centimeter cutting width. And then there you have the trimmer over on the side. So it has the 2 blades offset to really get your lawn cut very quick and very nice. And here we have the A3000 LiDAR Pro. So this is very similar to the A3000 we saw last year, but now it has the True Edge trimmer integrated into it, so you're gonna have better boundary cutting. They've also made some improvements to cutting the border, so how that interacts with it. And then now they're calling the system between the vision on the front and the LiDAR the Holoscope 360. So with the LiDAR, it's able to see in all directions, and then with the Vivi 3D, it's able to see what is happening in front of it, so it can navigate around that, being able to see objects that are as little as 4 centimeters tall.
Seeing these new models with LiDAR built in makes me excited to have more of you have this experience firsthand in your homes to see how well they're able to mow your lawn. I can't wait to get these on my lawn and bring the first detailed review as soon as they launch February 10th. Make sure you are following ECOVACS and subscribe to my channel down below to have the latest information as it becomes available. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.